So you want spray foam insulation for your vaulted or cathedral ceiling, but you're left wondering, how are they going to do it? Is it going to be very invasive? Is it going to be a huge pain to try and get this done? I'm here to tell you, no, it's not. And as you'll see behind me, this is a vaulted ceiling. And now we're going to show you step by step how it will be insulated with spray foam insulation. Before we get into the thick of it, I'm going to explain the difference between a cathedral ceiling and a vaulted ceiling. Now, cathedral ceiling, the ceiling comes up as a point, so it follows the roof line. Think of it like a big church or a tent. It just comes up, and that's your cathedral ceiling. Because of that, it tends to have a smaller cavity. We can still put foam in there. It still creates an air seal. Now, when we talk about a vaulted ceiling, now those can be a little more fancy. Comes up and it can come in any shape. It doesn't have to meet, it doesn't follow the roof line. So as it comes up, it can be an arch, it can be flat across, it could be any design that the architect chooses. Vaulted ceilings also tend to have a larger cavity, which means that you have more room to create the air seal that you're looking for with spray foam insulation. Now, as you can see behind me, these ceilings are vaulted, they come up, and in this case, they come flat across. To install spray foam insulation into this vaulted ceiling, they will need to cut strips because they will be cutting into the ceiling. That means that there's a whole lot of prep that needs to happen. Now, this house has a beautiful aesthetic, as you can see around me. It has these beautiful countertops, some really great cabinets, and there's even some built-in shelving over here to the side. Any good contractor is going to make sure that they completely cover things in plastic and add paper to the floor to make sure that they're not creating a huge mess for the homeowner to have to clean up later. Now that everything is nice and covered and protected, the crew is going to go through and they're going to start taking measurements. Now, the strips that they cut are going to be about 2 feet long. So the reason they do that is so that the spray foam crew can come in and they're going to hit multiple cavities at once. That way there's no need to try and cut multiple access points. It gives them more to work with. That 2 feet does matter because it makes it easier for when the drywall is rehung. They can use one sheet and get about 2 strips out of that. There's a method to the madness and it makes it a lot easier to complete the project. The ceiling does also have recessed lighting. And as they're doing the measurements, they take that into account so that the spray foam crew can come in and they can work around those lights without any issues. Crew members going through and all of the places that have been marked and measured are now being cut. It's a pretty quick process. They go through and they're going to cut those strips and then they're going to remove the insulation. Just like with any spray foam insulation project, the old insulation needs to be removed first so that the spray foam has a clean space to adhere to. This particular project has fiberglass bats. The crew has a special tool that they use that has a hook on the end of it that they can just put right in there and pull that fiberglass right out. Now, once all the fiberglass is removed from this section here, they're going to cut this other paneling out, remove that section of drywall, and remove the fiberglass there. They're going to continue to move like that around the room in sections to make sure that they're not creating like a huge mess, and it's just an easier way to get the project done. Now that all of the strips have been cut and the insulation's been removed, now it's time for the spray foam. So the crew's here and they are spraying open cell spray foam into this vaulted ceiling. Everything is very controlled. They have plastic in areas to make sure it's enclosed, so none of that foam gets any place where they don't want it to be. Once all the cavities have been sprayed from the edge of the roof all the way to the middle, they're going to hit that middle spot of the cavity. But first what they're going to do is they're going to switch out the tips on the gun to something that doesn't have to shoot so far. So they're going to spray from that middle point up to the peak of the roof to make sure that the cavity is completely filled. So now that all of the foam has been sprayed, it's time to finally put the house back together. Now, as you can see behind me, they're starting to rehang the drywall. So they're going to put that drywall up and they're going to put screws in to obviously hold it in place and then put mud around it. This is why you'll want to have a conversation with your contractor to find out if they're going to do a rough patch or if it's going to be a fine finished drywall project. Now, the difference is that with rough patch, they're going to put that drywall in place and they're going to mud around it and they're going to do a little bit of sanding, but it's on you to go through and paint and make sure that it looks nice and clean. Fine finish is a little bit different because they're going to go through, they're going to mud the same way, and they're going to sand everything down and make sure it's nice and smooth. And in some cases, this does also involve painting. So that's definitely a conversation you're going to want to have before the work is done. I've taken you through the step-by-step process of insulating a vaulted ceiling. If you're ready to have your ceiling insulated and you want to find a RetroFoam dealer who also offers spray foam, check out the dealer finder on our website. There you're going to find RetroFoam dealers across the country who are going to be able to help you make your home more comfortable and energy efficient. I'm your building science brainiac reminding you to bring a little science to every project.